I've got m squared, I've got mn, and I've got n squared. So the square's on the outside. Look at your coefficient here, it's 1. 1 times -5 is -5. I want two numbers that multiply to give me -5 and add to give me positive 4. So if you look at this, 5 plus -1, that gives us positive 4. 5 times -1, that gives us -5. So you want to add to the middle, multiply to the outside. You want to add to the middle, multiply to the outside. Okay? Ammo. There's your ammo to fight through quadratics. So once you have these numbers, double check. 5 times -1, -5. 5 plus -1, 4. All right. Here's the difficult part. See the m squared? All right. Now, you see the n squared? One of them gets positive 5. One of them gets -1. And you can write that as m plus 5n, m minus n. Sir, how would we know that's correct? It looks so bizarre. Well, you can check. How would you check? M times m minus n plus 5n times m minus n. It's called the distributive property. M times m, m squared. M times -n, -mn. 5n times m, 5n squared. So remember, we put these in alphabetical order. They are like terms. So if that makes you uncomfortable, you can always write it as 5mn. They put it in alphabetical order. And so what does that give us? M squared plus 4mn minus 5n squared. Is that the same question? Yes, it is. That means this is correct. This is a class of questions that you cannot get wrong and not know it's wrong. Let me explain. When you go from here to here, you're dividing. That's what factoring is. It's a special term for dividing. And to check it, you're multiplying. So when you get the answer wrong and you don't check it and you leave it as the wrong answer, you're telling the person who's marking it, hey, I think I know how to divide, but I know I don't know how to multiply, because otherwise I would check my work and I would have found out it's wrong, right? That's why I started with multiplication. So that's that one question. I tried to put in a lot of extra detail, and then I'm going to do B, C, D, E, F, okay? I look at my coefficient, it's 1 times 35. So what would that be? Well, I know positive 7 times positive 5 will give me 35. I know 7 plus 5 will give me 12. So this could be x. I know I have a y. This could be plus 5y plus 7y. Now, some of you might have written this. Both of these are correct. Why? What's 2 times 3? 6. What's 3 times 2? 6. So the order of the brackets doesn't matter. What matters is that they have x plus 5y, x plus 7y. And if you're not sure, you can always multiply it out and check it. Watch. X times x plus 5y plus 7y times x plus 5y. Now, some people ask me, why are you multiplying it the long way? Can't you just do it the short way? Yeah, but I'm trying to explain it to someone who's struggling. If someone's struggling, they're not multiplying and dividing the short way. They have to go through the distributive property for where they are in their continuum of learning. And then as they get more and more comfortable with this question, eventually you will go to the fast way. But in the meantime, go to the basics. Just go to distributive property. Xy plus 7xy plus 35y squared. These two are going to combine because they're like terms. And so it's going to give you x squared plus 12xy plus 35y squared. These are free marks. The only people who struggle with this are the people who didn't do their homework, because now it's really difficult to apply yourself in the pressure situation of a test. Then in grade 11, they throw in all kinds of other letters just to make sure that you're bulletproof with the factoring. They don't want people to tell them, I saw factoring. They want people to be able to do the factoring, okay? I've got a squared, ab, b squared. I've got 1 times negative 12, so that gives me negative 12. Two numbers that multiply to give me negative 12. 4 times negative 3. So 4 plus negative 3 is equal to 1. 4 times negative 3 is equal to negative 12. Okay, that's where I got those numbers from. What do I do with the brackets? Well, I've got, remember these are special cases. I've got A, I've got A, I've got B, I've got B. My numbers are positive 4, negative 3. Some people don't like writing the brackets first. They like to go A plus 4B, close brackets, A minus 3B. And again, both of those are the same thing. Even this is the same thing. So don't lose much sleep whether you put 4, negative 3 or you put negative 3, 4. The order doesn't matter. The brackets will just look different, but you'll know that they're the same thing. So I've got 1 and I've got 85. So 85, negative 85. I happen to know from my travels that 15 times, no, that's not 15. So let me show you how to do this so that you have a method, okay? Because what happens is sometimes you come up with these big numbers, right? And you don't have to be afraid. All you have to do is break it down. You see 85, because it ends in 5, we know 5 divides into 85. 5 divides into 85. 5 ones are, 5 sevens are. Now see how these are both prime numbers? That means there are no other factors. Those are the factors. So let's look at it. If I use negative 17 and I use positive 5, when they multiplied, I would get negative 85. And when they added, I would get negative 12. Right? There's your information. So, brackets, C minus 17D, C plus 5D. And because we have that rule about multiplying by x and x, when it's both x and x or c and c, we know it's going to be c squared. We know we have to add these two. Minus 17d plus 5d is minus 12d. And we know we have to multiply these two. Minus 17 times 5 is minus 85. D times d is d squared. Beautiful. Look at that. Right? Now, when you're checking, right, this checking stuff, you want to do in your rough work. Because all the instructor or whoever's marking is looking for this. A mistake is a lot of people, they'll start there, they'll come to there, and then they'll go back to, they'll write the checking, right? But they don't write check or anything, they just write it like this, right? If you write check, then the person knows you're checking it. Otherwise, they think you're just going in circles because you started at the question and you wind up back at the question. So you just have to watch for that, okay? So again, we have r squared, we have 12s squared. So 1 times 12 is 12. Two numbers that multiply to give me 12, 12 and 1. So 12 plus 1 is 13. 12 times 1 is 12. So they add to the middle and they multiply to the outside. And then all you have to do is r plus 12s, r plus 1s. Yes, it matters what factors you use because the numbers have to add to the middle and they have to multiply to the outside. So we'll be dealing with bigger numbers next week and you'll get more choices, but there's only one pair of numbers that will multiply to the outside and add to the middle. So with practice, you will be very clear. Now, I want all of you to take a deep breath, and we are just focusing on all the special cases this week. I'll give you a chance to demonstrate your mastery next week on Tuesday. And then after that, I will teach you the second method. That way, there's less chance of you mixing them up on the test. Okay? I know you're going to be anxious about factoring because everyone is. Just take a deep breath and it'll get better. Okay? You just need more practice. All right. So by now you're used to p squared, q squared, pq. We've got 18 multiplied by 1. Now if this bothers your brain, right? Remember, you can also do this. Because now it looks exactly like the special cases that we were using. You've got 1 times 18, two numbers that multiply to give you 18 and add to negative 9. So negative 6 plus negative 3 equals negative 9. Negative 6 times negative 3 equals 18. So I will say what I said again. The people who write these two checks never get this wrong because it's impossible to get the wrong numbers and still use it, right? All right, here's my solution. Minus 6 minus 3. Let me do my last check. Minus 6 plus minus 3 adds up to negative 9. Minus 6 times minus 3 multiplies to 18. Positive. Okay, good. So my answer will be Q minus 6P. Q minus 3P.